Hi, welcome back to another OneChart lesson. Today we are doing a little bit of a different song, La Jolla by Wilbur Soot, and it's a little bit different because it uses an open tuning. Now I'm going to show you how to do this at the end of the lesson in standard tuning if you're a bit scared of open tuning, but you really shouldn't be, because even though this is a bit of a weird open tuning, it's easy enough to get to, particularly if you have a tuner, if you have an electronic tuner. But even if you don't, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to get into this tuning. Okay, so here we are in standard tuning. Now the tuning I've put on your chart, the tuning we need for this is called F major 9 tuning, I think, or math rock tuning. And what we're doing is we are lifting our bottom string to F. I'll give you the tuning first. It's FACGCE. Now what that means is, starting from our lowest E string, we're lifting that up from an E to an F, so just up 1 fret. Whoop, that's too far. There it is. Like I said, with a tuner, very, very easy to do. But if you're doing it manually, what you do is you play an F here on the 3rd fret of the D string, and you match that E string to that tone. Obviously, it's going to be an octave lower, but you can use your ears to match that up. And it's a really good exercise to actually use your ears to adjust your tuning as well as you go, because you never know when your battery's going to go flat, or if you're without a tuner. We used to do that all the time back in the old days. But F now is your E string lifted up by 1/2 step, or 1 fret. A remains the same. D is going to come down to a C. Now if you don't have an electric tuner, play this note on your 3rd fret A string and match it to that. Still a little bit sharp. Now I can do it with the tuner. One little tip when you're changing your tuning around, and this goes for when you're just tuning up a guitar normally, is you should always tune up to the note from the flat side. So slacken off your string so the note's a little bit on the flat side, and tune it up from the flat side instead of coming down from the sharp side. And the reason why we do that is because if you are slackening off a string to get to the right tuning, sometimes when you unwind the string here and you're you're lowering the tension of the string, the string can get caught in the nut, the groove in the nut, and you can be loosening off the string, but the note actually won't be going down the corresponding amount. And then you'll think it's in tune, but then when you go to strum the string, it'll knock that string enough to sort of even up the tension on both sides of the nut. The string will slip a little bit through the nut and it'll go out of tune. If you come at it the other way, if you come up from the downside, it reduces the chance of any tension catching in that nut slot, and so you're much less likely to get that problem, and your tuning will be more accurate and more stable. So D string goes down to C. So we've got F, A, D, sorry, F, A, C. G string sounds the same. B string is going to go up a fret. So 5th fret on the G string is the note we want to get to. Fix it up with your tuner. There it is. If you don't have a tuner, just do it over and over again until you get those notes the same. And your E is the same. So F, A, C, G, C, E. And it sounds nice just by itself. Now what that lets us do is the 2 sections of this song, La Jolla, and it's actually quite easy. So now that we've got that in our tuning, the first section goes like this. You play the open A string, 4th fret D string, which is your C string now, I guess, but 4th fret, open G followed by open B. And the pattern is like this. I'll play it slowly. And repeat. Then it goes to an open E string, which is an F. And then what we do here is play the open D string, which is a C string, hammer on to 2 and then up to 4, all in one go. So you pick it once, hammer and hammer. And then back to the open C string, which is the D string. So it sounds like this. Back to the first one. That's the first section. The trickiest part is getting those hammer-ons nice and smooth and even. Remember, it's not about force, it's not about slamming your finger down, it's about timing and tapping with enough speed and firmness on the tip of your finger to keep the vibration in that string going without dampening it as you put your finger on. If you go too slow, you'll dampen the note before it gets a chance to ring out on the new fret. The second section, the only other section to this song, because it just goes back and forth between these two sections, is it starts the same way, but it changes the bass note. So we go, move to the open E string, or the open F string, 2nd fret, E string, and then on the last beat, we're hitting the E, D, and G strings, or whatever they're tuned to, the F, C, and G strings. And if you want to include the A string, you can do that too. And you hold that. So back and forth between those two sections. Let the notes ring out as much as you can. Next section. And there you have it. La Jolla, really, really nice, moody song from Wilbur Soot, and an interesting new tuning for you to play around with. When you want to get back out of that tuning, there's your E. Use your ears to get back into that. Your B is going to come down to that note. And your D string is going to come back up to that note, which is the 5th fret A string. And as always, if you've got a tuner, fine tune it, make sure everything is right. After you change your tuning, it's good to go through all 6 strings again and make sure they're exactly spot on. And, oh, I almost forgot. In order to do this in standard tuning, if you are too nervous about changing the tuning on your guitar or don't feel like you can do it, that's absolutely fine. In standard tuning, this is how you would play this. It's not quite the same. The notes are the same, but the actual bit that he hammers on, it's hard to get that the same. You'll see what I mean, but I'll show you how to do it. We do an A, in standard tuning, we do an A minor 7 chord. Now we have to go to the F. Okay, so we're going F, C, D, E, C. They're the actual notes, but what that is F, 1st fret E string, 3rd fret A string, open D, 2nd fret D, 3rd fret A. You'll hear that kind of doesn't flow as nicely as the hammer-ons on the open C string in the altered tuning. But it works. If you want to stay in standard tuning, it works and you can do it that way. For the change, you're going... like that. The bass note moves from A to F to G, back to F. Thanks for watching. We'll see you here again next time.